Welcome back to the channel, guys. We are diving into a lot today. First, though, because I know everyone has been very stressed, we are diving into Brian Friedman's statement. So we are going to look at that first, and hopefully we can all take a collective deep breath. Brian seems to be on this, as you know, I am sure he has been all along. So we're going to look at that first. We are going to look at Liz Plank. I don't know if you guys saw my short/reel, but she's being sketchy AF. And we're going to look at Blake's PR moves right now. And I think it is just absolutely tone deaf and disgusting because no matter how you look at this case, she's claiming she was SH'd and she's out on victory laps. That is literally what her PR is pushing, and that she's won. But the victory lap is the hardest piece for me to swallow. So we're going to break it all down. Hello, guys. How are you? It's so nice to see so many familiar faces, guys. If you are new to the channel, welcome. My name's Ashley Brianna Eve, and I like to look at pop culture cases through the lens of branding and marketing, which is my background. And I have a particular interest in SEO and narrative control on both Google and social media platforms. So that's a little bit of the angle I take, which is a little bit different. But if you've ever wondered, why is she making these moves or why is he making these moves? What's going on behind the scenes? This is the place. I take care of you here with that. Welcome, guys. Let me know where you guys are tuning in from. All right, let's do this. Let's dive in. We all need some good news. Justin Baldoni puts Blake Lively on notice. This legal drama ain't over yet. I love it. And it's an exclusive with TMZ, which is interesting. Blake Lively may have thought her legal drama with Justin Baldoni was finally behind her after her stunning court victory, but Justin Baldoni's lawyer says the case is just getting started. As you know, Blake scored a big win Monday, which it was a win. I don't think it was a fair win, but it was a win. When a judge tossed out the claims Baldoni made against Lively, her husband Ryan Reynolds, and the New York Times in a $400 million lawsuit, and then I think it was $250 against the New York Times, which was dropped. Baldoni accused them of defamation over an article about Justin's ugly feud with Blake behind the scenes on their 2024 film, It Ends With Us. He insisted it was all part of a smear campaign against him. I mean, that tracks. That tracks. It feels like it was a smear campaign against him and continues to be. But again, I've always been of the mindset that when you want to know what Blake and Ryan are doing, you just look at what they accuse Justin of doing. Says, as for Blake, her lawsuit alleging SH and a smear campaign by Baldoni is still active. Justin has filed a motion to dismiss her claims, although the judge has yet to rule on it. Still, Blake and her lawyers had much to celebrate after yesterday's ruling. In a statement released, I'm not a huge fan how far down the statements put in the article. You really want to maximize the first 100 words when you're writing an article, especially if it's an exclusive. And I feel like it could have been higher up. But I am happy with the title because 80% of people only read the title. So that's perfect. But again, not overly in love with how far down you had to scroll because a lot of people aren't getting here. In a statement released Tuesday, Justin Baldoni's lawyer, Brian Friedman, fired back, telling TMZ Miss Lively and her team's predictable it is predictable. Miss Lively and her team's predictable declaration of victory is false. So let us be clear about the latest ruling. While the court dismissed the defamation-related claims, the court has invited us to amend 4 out of the 7 claims against Miss Lively, which will showcase additional evidence and refined allegations. So I think, and hey, I'm not a lawyer. I always joke that I don't even play one on TV. So don't take my word about legal stuff. But I think, my own understanding, what a lot of people understood based on the judge's ruling that came out yesterday was it was only 2. But they're saying there are 4 that they can continue fighting. Freeman went on, this case is about the false accusations of SH and retaliation and a non-existent smear campaign, which Miss Lively's own team conveniently describes as untraceable because they can't prove what never happened. We talked about this on the channel yesterday. I said it's so untraceable, but she is sure that it happened. We read in, I think it was the second video I posted yesterday, how she's trying to get the court to compel his team to turn over all the communications with creators. And I said, but I thought you said it was untraceable. It's untraceable, but you know what happened? So he's saying what I was thinking. Freeman continues, most importantly, Miss Lively's own claims are no truer today than they were yesterday. And with the facts on our side, we march forward with the same confidence that we had when Miss Lively and her cohorts initiated this battle and look forward to her forthcoming deposition, which I will be taking. And you know that was directly to Blake, because Blakey was trying to get out of being deposed by Brian Freeman. And so that comment right there was obviously for Blake. Damn it, I always need to remember to plug my computer in. There we go. So there you go, guys. I think everyone can breathe a little bit of a sigh of relief. Would it have been nice for him to get $400 million and $250 million from the New York Times? Yeah, 100%. And I'm with you guys on that, because not just in justice, to be honest, but also for everything he's lost. He's lost so many contracts. He's lost awards. He lost his representation with WME. And so, I do think it's still, I imagine, a gut punch to the community, to everyone that's fighting for justice, everyone that's fighting for Justin. And I don't know if you're watching the Karen Reed trial and this, yesterday was just like a stressful day for justice. It was a stressful day for justice yesterday, but he is he's continuing to fight. Now, I've seen in the chat that some people have said I haven't been able to find this. Yeah, I'm going to show you. What we'll do is we'll pull up Google, because if you guys have been around on the channel for a bit, we talk about SEO, and SEO is being flooded right now. And his foundation too. Good point, Chris. His foundation too. The foundation was closed. Good point. So there was a lot of loss on his side. So right now, Blake Lively is on a PR push at the end of the day. They likely foresaw this coming, because it's nearly impossible, especially against the New York Times, unfortunately. They had probably been reassuring Blake all along, like, don't worry, you're protected by privilege. It's not going to go anywhere. You're fine. So I have no doubt they knew what they were going to say and that they were ready to go. She also was on a red carpet last night, which, don't worry, we're going to get to... Woosah. We're going to get to that as well. I think it's so misguided, the angle they're taking, and really shows what this was all about, in my opinion. Between her and Liz Plank yesterday, completely shows what this was all about. Completely shows. To call this a victory lap in an SH claim is disgusting. But this is why. Let me pull it up here. We'll share this one first. I have a couple different search results pulled up, but I'll show you guys this one first. And then we'll break it down, because I hear you guys and I see you guys in the chat. You're like, I didn't see he had a statement. I saw on X a lot of people saying, did he have a statement? I haven't been able to find a statement. This is what's called flooding. You guys have heard me say it before. Funny enough, after I went on all my platforms and was talking about Blake and Ryan flooding, they accused Justin of doing it. I mean, it's hilarious. But this is flooding, and it's all intentional. And you also know that it's coordinated, not just because it's flooding. Yeah, of course. And you could say, actually, this is big news in the pop culture world. It's big news. Like, of course, it's going to take up all the media. It's the rollout, the timing of it, the words used. Like, there's just so many pieces we look at for a coordinated PR rollout. But we also have her. I was like, where was I going with this? I was buffering in real time. It's been a couple days. We have two of the statements that went out to people. And we've talked about this here, where Blake Lively has switched and she's using people for her PR statements now. So the initial one about winning went out to people. And then the one about her speaking out about how emotional she is and she feels vindicated, et cetera, also went out to people. But even further than that, I don't know if you guys noticed or found out about this, but apparently people in TMZ have been posting in Reddit as well. So let me know if you guys found that out. But they've been posting in Reddit that is pro Justin. And that just further highlights to me that it's a coordinated PR campaign, especially seeing people in Reddit. Now, I see a lot of people that often say, like, I thought this is what's been said on X this morning. I thought Reddit was like for the people and like by the people. No, Reddit is not at all. Yeah, I don't trust TMZ either. It's well known that Britney Spears' dad was paying them to basically make her go crazy back in the day. If you're old enough to remember that, you got to go back a bit. But Reddit is not necessarily like for the people, by the people. It started in 2005. So right now I have to go far back in my memory bank. It was started in 2005. In 2006, it was purchased by Condé Nast. Now, you guys have probably heard about Condé Nast a lot here, but it was purchased in 2006, I believe. Don't quote me on that necessarily, that timeline, but I believe it was 2006 by Condé Nast. Condé Nast owns like GQ, Vogue. Anna Wintour, the editor-in-chief of Vogue, she's also the artistic director at Condé Nast. Condé Nast is one of those big corporations that basically owns everything. They're a little bit more fashion leaning, I would almost argue. But Reddit, anyway, long story short, they went public, to not get too bogged down in the details, but Reddit went public. And when it went public, Advanced Publications kept 30% of Reddit. Who's Advanced Publications, you ask? Advanced Publications is the parent company to Condé Nast. So it's the connections to like Anna Wintour, Vogue, GQ. I mean, we've gone over it in previous videos, like basically everything. And we all know that Blake has been a Vogue Met Gala princess connected to Anna Wintour. There were also pictures of her looking for Anna's house or outside her house that leaked 4 weeks ago. But yeah, it's not like Reddit isn't. It's not what you think it is. It's not what you think it is. But anyway, that's just something to know. It's all connected. So this is also why you're not seeing a lot of the statements for Justin Baldoni, although I've noticed it's starting to gain steam, is her team has completely flooded the narrative. They have completely flooded Google. So we're seeing the $400 million lawsuit dropped. She speaks out in this emotional statement. Defamation case dropped. Judge tosses Justin Baldoni's lawsuit. Judge dismisses his lawsuit, like over and over and over and over again. Let's see. Yeah, that's all page one. Let's see on what's page 2. So page 2, you start to see his lawyer gaining traction, the statements from his lawyer gaining traction on page 2. Yeah. So, I mean, not ideal. Page 2 isn't like winning SEO. SEO is search engine optimization. It's what makes things trend. You want complete control of page 1 and 2 on Google because very few people go past page 2. But this is good. It's on page 2. It's starting to trend. This was only 30 minutes ago. It will likely pick up more steam. So Miss Lively and her team's predictable declaration of victory is false. So let's be clear about the latest ruling. So hopefully they can gain steam for that. I'm going to be honest. Let me just check under his name. It's a lot of room to make up because it's so viral right now, the way she's pushing this story. Let's see what's going on with Justin under his name. Okay, this is more promising. Oh, damn it. Didn't mean to share that one. Sorry, guys. Too many screens open. I wasn't planning on going live today. And it's like, I have to go live with this. I have to hang out with you guys, see what's going on. Okay. This is more promising. It's under Justin Baldoni News. So whether you put, first and foremost, you want to look at what's being controlled under their name. So I always look like Justin Baldoni first or Blake Lively, and then I add news on the end to see what's being said. Oh, I can't believe we'll just go straight there after. Justin Baldoni marched forward with Blake Lively's legal battle. Good. Dismissed. It's gaining traction. Justin Baldoni's lawyer. So they're putting his name first, his lawyer. So the lawyer's in the word or in the title. I like this headline. Blake Lively's victory is false. That's a really good headline. Because again, Keep in mind, 80% of people only read the headline. I think it's something like 65 to 70% of people around there share news articles only for the headline. Prime real estate. Most people are going to read the headline, this little blurb. Justin Baldoni reacts. Let's see what Variety said. I'd shouted them out. Oh, there you go. I had shouted Variety out on previous videos. I said they looked like they were putting the truth out there. I'm going to give a shout out to Variety again today. Good on you, Variety. This is yes. I love this because let me tell you guys something. This is what I'm going to say here. I know a lot of people, and I feel you guys, you're against legacy media. Content creators can be paid off. There's a lot of concerns about some people, and I hear you on that. Content creators can be paid off. I call it the Trojan horse. But when you use content creators that appear to either be neutral or leaning towards the opposing side, and then you have them flip, that is actually done. That's very much done in PR wars. So that can happen with content creators. Reddit is owned 30% by advanced publications, so no one will ever convince me that Reddit's totally neutral and there's nothing going on there. And with legacy media, when we're looking at, say, like Google, what you would find in Google, the majority of people still get their news from there. So what I've been an advocate for is not completely writing off legacy media. Click on the articles that are telling the truth because they get ad revenue when you click on the articles. Click on the articles that are telling the truth. If Variety's putting out a good article, which they've put out a lot of good articles, click on it. Click on it. Show this support because your clicks matter. All right. But let's see here. Justin Baldoni to march forward with Blake Lively legal battle after $400 million defamation suit thrown out. Facts are on our side. Fantastic headline. That is the kind of headline you want. Justin Baldoni plans to keep at his legal battle with It Ends With Us. Okay. Do you guys, let me know if you see this or if you can predict what I'm about to say on why I really like this article. Yeah. Read and support the ones that are doing well, right? Can you tell why I'm going to really like this article and why it's the best one I've seen yet for Justin? Go Rebecca Rubin. Girl, you know what you're doing. Look how high up this is. You didn't have to scroll down. You didn't have to. So go Rebecca. You know what you're doing, girl. Justin Baldoni plans to keep at his legal battle with It Ends With Us co-star. And then it goes right into the statement. Miss Lively and her team's predictable declaration of victory is false, so let us be clear about the ruling. Baldoni's lawyer, Brian Freeman, sent in a statement to Variety. While the court dismissed the defamation-related claims, the court has invited us to amend 4 out of the 7 claims against Miss Lively, which will showcase additional evidence. Let me know who thinks part of the additional evidence is going to be Taylor Swift's text. I got a funny feeling. I don't know. But let me know in the comments if you think part of this extra evidence is going to be Taylor Swift, because this is all about like the takeover of the movie and everything and interfering with the movie. This case is about false accusations of SH and retaliation in a non-existent smear campaign, which Miss Lively's own team, so it's the same thing, word for word, conveniently describes as untraceable because they cannot prove what never happened. So they continue with it, again, pointing out, which I want, like, we need to stay on top of this. Just because the defamation suit was dropped does not mean she won, does not mean she didn't. Like, here's the thing. Here's my feeling on this. Let me know what you guys think. What might be legal and moral are 2 different things. Like, to me, it's still defamation. To me, she still defamed him. Just because the law says she's protected because of litigation privilege, like, you ruin the man's life. So they get the full, look at that, like not even much separate. You go right into it. This is amazing. And then it goes into the story. So this is going to hit a lot more people that get their news from legacy media. This article is going to sway or at least get the right information out there for a lot more people. This is great. I'm real, like, I've said it multiple times, I think Variety, and it might be Rebecca that's done all 3 that I've really liked. So, and then, to be fair, they put Blake's at the bottom. I love that. Okay, so this is still under Justin Baldoni News. Blake Lively scene. Of course she was. Justin Baldoni's podcast host reacts to Blake Lively's suit. Let's just go there next. Let's just go there. If it doesn't have you guys heard about this? That's what I've heard. The standard for actual malice is nearly impossible to meet. So I do wonder if Brian Freeman and that side were all kind of expecting it, unfortunately. This Plank is a monster. It's so nice to see you. Yes, she is. I'm feeling we need a class action lawsuit against Blake Lively and all of these people because, like, I have stomach ulcers over this. All right. We'll dive into this. I have a reel that just went up about this as well. Justin Baldoni's former Man Enough podcast host, Liz Plank, reacted to his lawsuit being dismissed. The podcast, okay, so that's when she was on the podcast with him. Do they have a picture of it? Where's the whole picture? Oh my gosh, they break it up. This is a BuzzFeed, do better. Okay, so she has this podcast, and we might as well just follow this thread, and then we'll return back to Blake, or else I'll forget. She has apparently this podcast coming out with Katie Couric, who she calls a legend and the founder of journalism. But anyway, that tells you someone's morals if they see Katie Couric as that. This person said, I just saw the funniest boy problem get dismissed by a federal judge in New York. LOL. Boy problem being her podcast. And Liz Plank goes, LMFAOOO. Here's my problem. Regardless of what anyone thinks about if Blake Lively's claims are true or not, how is it okay to make a mockery of this? And if you believe Blake, people making fun of it is sick. This is not okay. And then they call unhinged Baldoni Stan comments. Yeah, I think this is just disgusting, Liz Plank. And to me, I don't know about you guys, but to me, this tells me exactly who Liz Plank is. It tells me exactly who Blake Lively is, Ryan Reynolds, all of them, because you're adding this onto the fact that Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds are pushing a victory lap. That is their PR right now. Okay, we have got to be in the multiverse of madness. We legit have to be. Oh, see, I don't even know how to get reactions on StreamYard, and I just got a thumbs up from the universe. Maybe I got a thumbs up from Ashley on another timeline. I don't know. Maybe she's streaming about something else. But they're making a mockery out of an SH claim. Blake and Ryan are gallivanting around, calling it a victory lap. And then we have Liz Plank out here LMFAOing about the funniest boy problem. I just need to breathe for a second. Because in my class action lawsuit, I'm also going to have to deal with my blood pressure in that lawsuit. But I'm going to show you something even crazier with Liz Plank. You're going to want to sit down. We'll go back to Blake, don't worry. But since we saw the article on her, we might as well just deal with this now. And if you guys can tell, I still don't wear my Fitbit when I stream on this because I get notifications that I need to calm down. My heart rate is out of range. Like, no shit, Fitbit, thank you. All right. So as I was looking into Liz Plank, so remember, she was on Man Enough. She had a very certain persona there, which I have a reel from a few months ago where I said she was a liar and her brand was all fake. So she has this from May 14th, 2025. This is Substack. Boy Problems isn't just a podcast. It's group therapy. Anyone want therapy from Liz Plank? She says, I know I usually come to you with a boy problem or a few, But today I don't know if she talks like that. Never watched anything from her. That's how she's talking right now. But today I come bearing solutions. What if talking about men wasn't exhausting, but exciting? I'm beyond overjoyed and borderline feral to finally tell you about a project I've been quietly, chaotically, and obsessively working on for over a year. You don't say, over a year? And interestingly enough, if you look at Liz Plank's history, which I have a longer form video on her as well, not just the reels, she's been connected to Ryan and Blake for a long ass time. So over a year? Okay, cool. So thank you for confirming to us, Liz, that you've been in on this all along. Also, is she going for like call her daddy type vibes because it's been taken? It's called Boy Problems. And yes, it's produced by the icon, the legend, the mother of journalism herself, Katie Couric. Okay. Because I don't do small shit. I create global conversations wrapped in a cute podcast with killer fits with my heroes. Okay. This is big. This is bold. And this is only the beginning. This show has been living rent free in my brain, my notes app, and about like 73 unfinished voice notes between my friend Lyron and who I came up with the name of the show last winter when I was complaining about yet another bad date. It started with one question. What if instead of just yelling about boy problems, we actually tried solving them? I have the solution for you, Liz. You are the problem. Yet another bad date. I'm going to donate a mirror to you and Blake. I am donating a mirror to you and Blake. Y'all need mirrors. And I'm shocked by that because I would figure the both of you would have so many mirrors in the house and love staring at your reflection that you would see the problem as you, but apparently not. Maybe a full length mirror. And let's be honest, the timing of the show could not be better. I don't know about you, but every single time I turn on the news, I see the world is full of boy problems. And these issues are making life harder, and not just for women, but for men and for people who don't identify as either. So I decided it was time to stop complaining and start creating a space to laugh, cry, and maybe even fix if things a little. I can't read anymore. But anyway, apparently, this whole lawsuit with Blake Lively is just a boy problem to make fun of. Okay. Y'all are wild. You are the problem on a t-shirt. Yes. That would be a good t-shirt. The mirror will break. I don't understand. I would think they'd be able to look at themselves, and see, but apparently not. I am wrong. I'm loving the comments on her is that her Instagram account? I haven't even gone over there to see. My blood pressure can't take it. They all hatched this plan a while ago. I agree. Liz Plank gave all the deets about Justin Baldoni to Ryan Reynolds. I think so too. All right. So that's Liz Plank. It's all one big joke. I don't even know what to say about it because, the fact that this is how Blake and Ryan and Liz view this shows me everything I need to know, that it is all one big joke to them. And not only is that dangerous in this situation, but to me, for Blake, who is claiming to be so concerned about fighting for women's rights, this is making a mockery of all of that. This is making a mockery out of all of it. You, the group of you, have done more damage for actual victims than anything I've ever seen. And I worked in the mental health field. All right, let's go back to Blake. But there's certain headlines I want to. Oh, okay. Well, I'm here for that. That's smart. I'll show you. I don't know if it was intentional. It might have been, but it's smart. So when you put in Blake Lively victory in Google, so everything with SEO and controlling what's trending, you want to latch on, and it's also called hacking, SEO hacking or keyword hacking, but you want to latch on to words that are trending. So if it was trending, whether this was done intentionally or not, if Blake Lively victory lap was trending, because that's what I was trying to find by typing in Blake Lively victory, was all the articles that were talking about she's doing her victory lap. Now you're starting to see Justin Baldoni's lawyer saying Blake Lively's victory is false. So that's actually a really smart SEO hack. Again, I don't know if it was intentional or not, but I was specifically looking for the articles talking about her going around and gallivanting around, but they hacked SEO for it. All right, let's see if I can actually find the one I was looking for, though. That's really good. Okay, I'll show you the articles that hacked, because you actually have to put in Blake Lively victory lap now, the whole word or the whole sentence. So this is what was starting a trend, and they knocked it down. So that's really good. Blake Lively takes victory lap at Chanel dinner hours after judge dismisses Justin Baldoni's $400 million lawsuit. So that's really smart on Justin's team. Again, whether it was done intentionally or not, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds victory lap. This is definitely PR. It's definitely from her team pushing this narrative. I don't know who in their right mind. Again, you pull back everything in this case, and it's a claim of SH and retaliation, apparently, allegedly, from SH. And you all really want to move forward with it being a victory lap? Blake, if you're watching or your team's watching, you're sure that's the word you want to go for? Okay. All right. So it says here, Blake Lively and husband Ryan Reynolds were pictured for the first time since the actress's huge, well, it was like 2 hours later. It was literally 2 hours later. After her huge win over Justin Baldoni, the Gossip star and Deadpool star were both seen in New York City on separate occasions and looked to be in good spirits after Baldoni's $400 million countersuit against them was dismissed. Lively, who broke her silence on the bombshell ruling earlier in the day, beamed while attending the 18th annual Chanel Tribeca Festival artist dinner in a stylish white dress with a sizzling slit on the side. She flashed a bright smile while posing for the cameras after speaking out on the pain of her experience with a retaliatory lawsuit. I'll show you guys that. We'll pull it up as well. I got you. There's a lot we're covering today. We'll try to get to it all. Meanwhile, Reynolds was seen taking a stroll with Deadpool director and longtime collaborator Sean, 56. It comes following news that Lively had an emotional reaction to her dismissal of the countersuit filed by Her It Ends With Us director and co-star. And that, again, that's false information. This is media manipulation. This is what I do for work, is narrative control and media manipulation and calling this shit out. You know, you wish people would have some integrity. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for the support, guys. You are so kind. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. You guys are so kind. This is the best community. It's all media manipulation and narrative control. That's all this is. That's all it is. So just Brian, I do think Brian's got it. I do think the Taylor Swift stuff's going to come out next. And that, if there's anything that would push the narrative back in favor and like flood Google for Justin Baldoni, would be Taylor Swift text messages or emails coming out where Blake Lively's like, look, bet you don't want all your text messages coming out, because if you don't support me, I'm going to leak everything. You don't know who you're messing with. I'm Khaleesi after all. You're just my dragon. Oh my God, that would be amazing. I'm here for it. But anyway, goes on. Talks about her statement. This is the dress. This is her at the event. It's interesting because what's been getting said on, I think it's page 6 on Instagram, and I talk about this in a reel I made today, is that she's looking smug. Her smug smile's back. And I said, yeah, it's exhausting to maintain the mask. She's been trying to maintain a mask of being like the innocent or the every woman in terms of branding archetypes. And that's not who she is. That fake childish smile that she's been pushing the last few weeks isn't who she is. So she's going to go back to exactly who she is, which is the ruler. And you're starting to see that in certain poses. Again, the face, she's trying to do the childish, more innocent look there. But I think it was page 6. I have the pictures in the reel, not off the top of my head where they came from. Actually, let me check. I guess page 6. But she's starting to put her chin up again in images, which is the ruler archetype, which is not what she's been saying her brand is. Oh, there it is. I'll flip over so you guys can see. Where is it? Okay. So this is here. And it's that pose. So when she's actually posing and she's like trying to give a certain image for the pictures, she had more of like attempting to do that more childish, innocent look. But when she wasn't actually posing, she had more of that like chin up. For anyone that watches like body language experts or is interested in body language experts. And if you've been watching my reels, there's that ruler archetype. The chin up, looking down, right? So if you've noticed, her images that she's been doing lately have been the camera above her to make her look smaller. And I know she can't control where the camera is here, but looking above her. And traditionally, Blake's had the camera below her and she's given that look down. So we don't want to know anything more about her, please. Definitely looks smug here. These are the comments that are flooding page 6. Karma's going to get her and I'm here for it. Boycott, she sucks. I hope it was worth it. She ruined her reputation. Smug smile. There you go. So see, people are starting to catch on to the change again in her brand. She quote unquote, oh, and there it's again. Smug smile. So body language speaks. People notice those kinds of things. And so it's no longer that sweet, innocent, holding a big flower in front of me and like looking up at the camera. It's what people are terming or I'm calling a smug smile. Yeah. So people are not impressed, but that's exactly what it looks like. Again, whether intentionally or not, that Brian Freeman has hit with his choice of keywords. So that victory, that word victory, and adding it in his headlines is knocking down in SEO. It's like a game of chess. All right. If you want to think of SEO, especially in a PR war, it's a game of chess. So you can piggyback on certain words that are going to bump you up in the algorithm. And so that was smart and push down whatever you don't want trending. So what we saw with that was, or an example story that I use all the time is Taylor Swift jets. She was getting a lot of pushback on Google. It's one of the most famous pop culture examples. She was getting a lot of pushback on Google for her jets, like private jet use and environmental damage for it. Well, then all of a sudden, Taylor Swift showed up at a Jets game. And it's gone down in the branding and marketing world as a pop culture example of SEO manipulation, where you go to the Jets game and what was trending on Google after that was Taylor Swift at a Jets game, and it pushed down issues with her Jets. So that's a really popular way of doing PR wars is SEO manipulation, piggybacking on keywords. And it does look, it's not necessarily all bad. But let's pull up her Google again. It is a way to get something to trend quicker. So for example, Brian Freeman speaks out about Justin Baldoni isn't going to trend as quick as hijacking a keyword. Does that make sense? Let me know if that makes sense, guys. All right. What one was the one I wanted to pull up? That's the one. Okay, so we're back to just Blake Lively, just seeing what's going on there. And there was one I wanted to pull up. Oh, the people one. So again, Blake now goes to People typically as her exclusive source. One of the things I've been saying is I think she's intentionally doing this, trying to muddy the waters, because it became more obvious that People was her exclusive source when Taylor Swift really got dragged into all of this. And Taylor Swift traditionally has used People as her exclusive source. I mean, it's known amongst the Swifties, it's known about like anyone that pays attention that Tree Pain goes to People. Then all of a sudden, when Taylor's name kept getting pulled into it, in regards to the text messages, you started to notice something really weird. And it appeared like Blake was going to People now. And my theory for this is that she's trying to muddy the waters. One sec, guys. I get left with the dogs and then they're not easy to stream with. Let me just see if I can find someone to help me. With ADHD, I really struggle when the dogs are acting up behind me to maintain my thought process. But I don't even think my phone's working in here right now. All right. Where were we? So Blake Lively is all smiles at Chanel event hours after judge dismisses Justin Baldoni's $400 million lawsuit. So how we know something's going, even if it doesn't say exclusive, is it's going to go to People first. And this went to People first. So again, her smiling, all happy, all out and about. These are the pictures they have. See, this is a smile. It's such a forced smile. I was saying yesterday, that's a smile I give when I'm just not impressed. And you know I'm not impressed, but I'm smiling and I'm like, biting my tongue. So let's see what they have here about the case. Lively's appearance, because this is, again, going to be a Blake-friendly article. Lively's appearance at the Monday, June 9th event comes hours after Judge Lyman granted a motion to dismiss the $400 million countersuit filed by Baldoni and the Wayfair parties in January against Lively, Ryan Reynolds, their publicist Leslie Sloan, Sloan's PR firm, Vision PR, alleging extortion and defamation. His other claims including false light invasion of privacy, breach of implied covenant of good faith, and fair dealing, intentional interference with contractual relations, intentional interference with prospective economic advantage, and negligent interference with prospective economic advantage. So are they saying those are the ones that are staying? They're a little vague there. The lawsuit was filed in response to live after New York Times ran an investigative story. I don't know if it was much investigative story looking into Lively's claims. Baldoni filed a $250 million lawsuit against the outlet alleging libel, which the New York Times has denied. So it's all Blake friendly. So what we are going to see, though, is Justin Baldoni's statement is going to start gaining traction. It's going to start. Blake Lively cried with relief. Yeah, it's still not gaining much on hers, but you're going to see it. I can nearly guarantee. So this is under Justin's. Let's just flip back there, see what's going on. But for those just hopping on, his lawyer, we can read, because there's a lot of people that are just hopping on that weren't here at the beginning. I'll read the lawyer's statement, his lawyer's statements again, Brian Freeman's statements. Make sure to like the stream. It is free to like the stream and hang out with us a bit. It's a great chat. So hang out with everyone in the chat if you desire. Okay, so this is under Justin. So 2 hours ago. Okay, so they're making steam. There's more platforms that are picking it up. So this is on page 6, how Justin Baldoni feels after $400 million countersuit. I'm trying to find a particular one that I saw this morning, and it talked about it feeling like a gut punch or something like that, that there was an exclusive source. If this isn't it, I'll search specifically for it, but I was hoping it would be trending higher. But again, here's the thing, guys. Her team right now has a chokehold on Google and SEO. But there's many ways that his team can start gaining traction on it. So it says here, Justin Baldoni's team remains confident despite a judge dismissing the actor's $400 million countersuit. Miss Lively and her team's predictable. Okay, so page 6 is picking it up too, guys. It's starting to gain steam. She'll come out with something, though. Blake will come out with something, no doubt. Maybe she'll do like a speech or something about it. I wouldn't even be surprised. Miss Lively and her team's predictable declaration of victory is false, so let us be clear about the latest ruling. Told page 6. When the court dismissed the defamation-related claims, the court has invited us to amend 4 out of the 7 claims against Miss Lively, which will showcase additional evidence and refined allegations. This case is about false accusations of SH and retaliation. So this is Brian Freeman's statement. He has said it to TMZ as well. Seems like he has just like he's going through with that statement, probably sending it out to all the major news outlets. So this case is about false accusations of SH and retaliation and a non-existent smear campaign, which Miss Lively's own team conveniently described as untraceable because they cannot prove what never happened. Freeman also claimed that Lively's allegations are no truer today than they were yesterday. And with the facts on our side, we march forward with the same confidence that we had when Miss Lively and her cohorts initiated this battle and look forward to her forthcoming deposition, which I will be taking. Who is here for this? I am so here for this. I am so here for the fact that Brian Freeman isn't backing down. We are grateful for the organic. I love that. Was that word in the other one and I just completely looked over it? We are grateful for the organic show of support from the public and the dedication of the internet sleuth community who continue to cover the case with discernment and integrity. Wait, is that a new statement? Am I losing my mind? But I don't remember seeing that earlier. This must be exclusive to page 6 because this wasn't in other statements. The facts are on our side. We march forward with the same confidence that we had when Miss Lively and her cohorts initiated this battle and look forward to her forthcoming deposition, which I will be taking. We are grateful for the organic show of support from the public and the dedication of the internet sleuth community who continue to cover this case with discernment and integrity. All right. I'm here for that. All right. A Baldoni insider echoed Freeman's optimism. Oh, okay. There's more here, guys. A Baldoni insider echoed Freeman's optimism, telling the Daily Mail Monday, even though it is a stumble, Justin has full trust with his legal team. I think that's the article I was looking for. We'll check it out. He's looking to figure out how to move forward from his current setback, the source continued. Well, he feels confident that his lawyers will pull through. The Jane the Virgin alum 41 sees things as a tale of two worlds right now. Justin feels this is a huge kick in the guts. That's the quote I was looking for. So it was Daily Mail. Justin feels this is a huge kick in the guts, the source admitted. Well, no doubt. I mean, I think everyone has felt that way that's been supporting Justin. I think everyone's kind of felt like the wind was kicked out of them the last 24 hours. On Monday, Judge Lyman granted the motion to dismiss the actor's January countersuit along with his $250 million libel lawsuit against the New York Times, according to documents obtained by page 6. The judge wrote that Baldoni's production company Wayfair Studios have not alleged that Lively is responsible for any statements other than the statements in her California Civil Rights Department complaint, which are privileged, even though she went to New York Times with it. Lyman said that Baldoni's complaint alleged that Reynolds and publicist Leslie Sloan made additional statements accusing Baldoni of misconduct and that the Times made additional statements accusing Wayfair parties of engaging in a smear campaign. The Wayfair parties have not alleged that Reynolds, Sloan, or the Times would have seriously doubted these statements were true based on the information available to them, as is required for them to be liable for defamation under applicable law. That's kind of wild for me. Like it just, and again, I'm not a lawyer, so what do I know? But it just seems like as long as you have one person that believes you, and I imagine your partner would believe you, and even if, oh my gosh, is that a promo for the New Heights podcast with Taylor or Kelsey in the corner there? Now I'm all distracted. Even if there were text messages or conversations that had been said between Blake and Ryan, it's not like you can bring that in anyway, I imagine, because of spousal privilege. So Ryan can just be like, yeah, of course I believed her and believe this happened. She's my wife. What are you going to do about it? Get text messages that prove otherwise? Baldoni's lawyers have until June 23rd to amend their claims for breach of implied covenant. Lively's legal team, Ezra Hudson and Mike Gottlieb, called the move a total victory and a complete vindication. How can you, with a straight face, call this a total victory and complete vindication? Her team, the PR angle that Blake Lively is taking is completely disingenuous. It's media manipulation at its best. Total victory? Girl, you have not won your SH claims. It hasn't even gone to court. This does not mean that you won. And I think now that I see that, and I'm reminded that her lawyers use the word total victory, it makes more sense that that word was a very intentional SEO hack. And complete vindication of what? It's the audacity to manipulate the public that blatantly. Complete vindication of what? All the judge said was because you made the allegations in a CRD complaint, it's privileged. The judge did not say, I have found that Justin Baldoni is guilty of doing this and Blake Lively has been a victim all along. The manipulation is just wild. And I don't know how people sleep at night. Like, I'm all for using sales psychology and branding psychology and all of that. You can't grow a brand unless you understand how to brand and market a brand. You just can't. But the thing that I can't get behind is like this nefarious use of all of it to manipulate the public. Thank you so much. What a beautiful puppers. Make sure you subscribe also to 11K. Let's do it, guys. Let's get to 11K today. I don't think we're too far off. I think that's a legit goal that we can do for today. I think we can get the channel to 11K. So yeah, I would say it's likely that he was intentionally using that word. And then the Gossip Girl was seen celebrating the news. I honestly think she's out celebrating because this is all she ever wanted. And in her head, so, okay, I have, again, not a lawyer. I don't even play one on TV, but this is my feeling of it. I think she's hoping that Justin Baldoni's team rolls over. This is my thought process. I think she's hoping that his team rolls over. They don't go after the other claims because they're like, it's just not worth it. And then my belief, what I think she would do is if they didn't. So say they didn't refile by the 23rd and they're just like, whatever, we're not fighting anymore. It's not worth it because the money, the 400 million, 250 million's gone. It's off the table. I would put a bet that she was planning on dropping her SH claims afterwards. She was setting the stage for it with dropping 10, dropping 11. Also, like, just from a PR brain mindset and how my brain looks at things, the amicus briefs, I don't think they were necessarily for the judge. In my theory, the judge even admitted to not reading the amicus briefs. I think they were for the public. Why do I think they were for the public? Because in both of the amicus briefs that were put up, what they really went home on was about how, women, they feel traumatized having to go through the process, discovery is invasive, et cetera, et cetera. They are setting the stage for Blake to drop it and be like, this is horrific. Other women are going to be able to understand. It's so traumatic to relive these events and have to go through it again and face your abuser in court that, I'm sure women see themselves in me that sometimes, unfortunately, you just have to know what's best and step away. And I think she would drop it. She would drop it on a PR high. Well, PR is in her favor. Well, she's flooded the internet. But based on Brian Freeman's statement, here's going to be the wrench. And I genuinely think that her and Ryan are, and all of them, are narcissistic enough to actually believe that it's not even going to be worth it for them. Like, what do they have? They're just going to go after us for like tortious interference now? Come on. I think they actually can be so, full of themselves. Exactly. That they're planning on them not going through with it, or everything from Justin's side being thrown out, and she can do this big public speech with her like microphone like she did at Times 100 event and play the victim even more. And then she can walk out on a PR high. She can walk out with things like Victory Lap and Vindicated and One trending on Google. And here's the thing. I see you guys, what you're saying. She drops it. She looks guilty. She goes through with it. Lyman damaged her case by not letting anything in with emotional damage, that emotional damage one's an interesting thing. Um, but that's what she's going to say is, "I had to drop it because it is so traumatic. I had to drop it." Look at the amicus briefs. They all support me. But it'll be interesting to see. Karma, please step in here. Yep. I understand it needs the court permission, but I genuinely can't see the court force it. That'd be a PR disaster. That'd be a PR win for Blake. You want to know a PR win for Blake? You guys want to know a PR win for Blake? It's Justin in the court forcing her to go through with an SH claim. That would be bad. That would be it. That has the potential to blow up in everyone's face. Because if you force her to go through with it, she's going to play the victim more. But that's just I understand that the court needs permission, that she can't just be like, "Jake Hang, I'm dropping it today," and then never show up again. But I cannot, I mean, I know it's possible, but I just cannot see everyone forcing. The PR would be an abuser is forcing the SH victim to follow through with the process. The narrative would be, the justice system lets women down again by forcing them to go through with the process despite being traumatized. But in that same vein, she can't. The only way she could effectively do that in terms of branding, marketing, PR is if Justin doesn't go through with the second amended complaint. Because if he keeps fighting, she has no choice. She has no choice to keep going. Because then that would be like, yeah, that'd be bad. But let's see what else is going on. But yes, I would caution hoping that Justin and the courts drag her by her hair into court. I'm not saying I don't want to see her dragged into court, but understanding PR and marketing and all of it and being able to see what her team goes for with the marketing and the PR, yeah, I just think she could play that victim card even more. But I do think when Ryan Freeman talks about that new evidence, I do wonder if he's talking about the Taylor Swift text. It'll be interesting to see. I'm curious. Whoops. What's going on with her Instagram? Let me pull it up. Oh, it's going to make me log in. Let's see what's going on. What are the people saying, Blakey? What are the people saying about what's going on with you? She's lost 297,000 followers in the last 30 days. Yeah, look at that. The public's been speaking. I mean, at the end of the day, she's losing in the court of public opinion. That's not good. I honestly think the only thing holding her up right now is Ryan Reynolds, to be honest, and his connections. I think a lot of the big organizations, the big names are not wanting to lose Ryan. Hear us out. I don't have them in my room with me. They're in the other room. Monthly gained followers for Blake Lively. So what was that? August 2024. So she had spikes September 2022. She's had a lot of big drops. January 2023, kind of up and down, up and down, up and down. A spike August 2024, which would that have been? Let me know. Is that around the time of the movie? Money still has a lot of power, though. Yeah. Yeah, and I wasn't implying that she can just drop and walk away, but the only other option is for the judge and for Justin to drag her by her hair into court. And all I'm saying is that would not, she could twist that to be a very bad PR decision. Because I'm not a lawyer. I'm not looking at this from the side of like what a lawyer is going to say she can or can't do. My experience and background's in branding, marketing, and PR. So my brain is not going to look at it as like she can or cannot do a thing. It's what's the repercussions in terms of her brand, right? August 9th was the premiere. Interesting. Okay. So August 2024, she saw a surge of followers. And then look at that. Look at that drop, and it keeps going down. So July, August 24 monthly gain media count for Blake Lively. Well, I mean, if that makes you feel, if you guys feel any better, she is like dying a slow death on social media. And again, I honestly think if Ryan Reynolds was to leave her career would be like instantly over. Instantly over. All right. Is there anything else I want to talk about today? I think that's it. I think that's all I had on our docket. I'm watching too much Emily D. Baker with Karen Reed. What's on the docket for today? Let's see if anything's. So how are you guys feeling? Let me know in the chat. She wasn't traumatized when she went to New York. Yeah. New York Times. Yeah, exactly. Leave her, Ryan. Might be the best move for him after all of this, to be honest. That's the only, like, at the end of the day, it's really the only reason brands are backing her at this point. My opinion, of course. Oh, I can pull up something. What's this? Okay, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to find the Marvel one, guys. Just give me a second. Okay, there it is. We can do this. All right, we'll pull up because this was like, this I don't agree with either. So it was an order that was put in by the judge. This order resolves the outstanding discovery motions on docket number 186, 190, and 191 and 232. The motion by Marvel Entertainment, LLC, to quash a subpoena issued to Marvel from the Wayfair parties and for a protective order prohibiting the disclosure of Marvel's confidential documents is granted. Docket number 186, pursuant to the court's opinion and order of June 9th, 2025, dismissing the Wayfair parties' claims, the information sought is no longer relevant to a claim or defense in this action. Docket number 296, moreover, assuming the information were relevant, it would not be proportional to the needs of the case and the potential harm to Marvel by disclosing confidential commercial information. I don't understand how you can say that. How is, I mean, I guess, is parody okay? Maybe it is. I don't know. But how can you go make a movie about someone that is very clearly about someone, make fun of them, and then off them in the movie and it not be relevant? Or at least, not proportional to the needs of the case and potential harm to Marvel. What's the potential harm to Marvel? Everyone realizes Marvel is as sketchy as Ryan Reynolds. Like, yeah, that might be really bad for your brand. That might be very bad. Marvel is notorious for being super paranoid around leaks with their IPs. They were always going to fight this. That makes sense. I feel like they could have tailored it, like maybe not, so that it's just like anything in regards to Nice Pool. But what do I know? Again, not a lawyer, so I might be wrong. The motion by Leslie Sloan and Vision PR Inc., the Sloan parties to compel the Wayfair parties to respond to interrogatories and produce responsive documents is denied as moot. And I think really they just have to close that, even if it's not applicable anymore. But yes, I picture what you're thinking, and you are not wrong that they will spin that. They will spin that as positive PR. They absolutely will. The court's opinion and order on June 9, 2025 dismissed the claims against the Sloan parties to which the interrogatories and document requests were relevant. The motion by Sloan parties to compel James Vichuska to produce documents, document number 232, has been withdrawn. All right. So that was from yesterday. And then this is just having gone up. Pro se movement Brett Douglas McDowell. So he is attached to dog pool. So if you go through my older videos, I did a video about dog pool. Moves to intervene as of right pursuant to Federal Rule of Civil Procedure 24A2, or in the alternative for permissive intervention pursuant to Federal Rule of Civil Procedure 24B, docket number 252. For the reasons that follow, the motion is denied. So that was denied, but I guess it's all gone anyway. Like the Marvel thing's closed, all that's gone. So I guess no matter what, it would have had to be denied. All right, guys. Ryan Canada. No, we don't want him back here. Are you kidding me? We don't want him back here. Somewhere else, not Canada. Someone else. Let's go Freeman and Wayfair. Exactly. Exactly. No matter what the court docs say, we know the truth. And here's the thing. Blake Lively's social media plummeting constantly shows us that you guys just have to keep going. Like Brian Freeman said, right? He said he's grateful to the internet sleuths and those that are bringing this information forward with integrity. You just have to keep going because it's making an impact. And the more good people fight for truth to come out, the more that's going to pick up steam. And that's where it's also going to work against her in terms of PR when she just won't go away. She just won't go away. So she's going to be in everyone's faces while people are starting to like push the truth, and more legacy media starts to push the truth. And then you start seeing her constantly in your feed, and you're going to start to notice that more people are catching on, and more people are starting to question her. And I'd like to say her career is like guaranteed to be over. Can't guarantee it, of course, but every day we're seeing that her social media is going down. How are you guys feeling overall? How's everyone feeling? Why is Marvel's protection more important than Justin's? And yeah, I agree. That's a great question. And I 100% hear that they're protective of their IP. And I don't know, it tells me everything I need to know about Marvel as well. Because really all they're looking for is proof that this character was based on Justin. And I don't understand how that ruins your IP. Thank you so much, Don. Came home from a funeral yesterday to this craziness. Oh, I'm so sorry. What a day. My vibrations were so low. I shut down all news media. I'm feeling better and more hopeful today after hearing you read Justin Freeman's response. Oh my goodness. I'm so glad, Don. Thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting the channel. And I hope this does, like, guys, everyone took a hit yesterday, right? It was when that statement that source close to Justin said they felt like a gut punch. I think everyone felt that. And they're not ruling over. It's not done. Let's see. I think they're going to, I don't think here's the thing. I don't think Justin's going to force her into court in the sense of like she tries to drop it and he's like, no, I'm forcing you into court. I think how he's going to force her into court essentially for the SH is by continuing to fight what the judge has left available for them to fight. Right? I think that's how they're going to force it in a way that doesn't set them up for like abuser playbook. And this is what abusers do. And this is, this is why women don't come out because they're just me attacked by the media and content creators and their abuser and the judicial system doesn't support women. You don't want it to turn into that. I think how they're going to force her into court is by not dropping any shred of what the judge leaves on the table for them to fight. Because as long as they're still fighting, I mean, she might still try to drop it. I don't know. I mean, she might be that ballsy to try and drop it still. Never with teeth, though. Ballsy, but never with teeth, right? She might still try to pull the I'm the victim card. It's possible. What was I pulling up? I don't remember what I was pulling up. Oh, no, I have my close it. I had YouTube open another tab and it pulled up my stuff. Okay, guys, I think that's what I have for you guys for today. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. It always makes me feel better to hang out with you guys as well. It's such a good community, and I hope you enjoy a little bit of a different take. Because like I said, I'm not a lawyer. I can't bring the legal brain to it, but I can look at for more of the branding and marketing and what is going on behind the scenes for that. So I would say Justin's probably going to continue leaning into the facts, and that's what Brian said. Let the facts speak for them. I think that's the best thing they can do right now. But I think Blake's going to keep. What is she doing on Instagram? Probably posting a bunch of malarkey. Let's see what she's doing. If she posted anything else. No. So this is all. Oops. So this is, she hasn't posted anything since this, where she said, last week I stood proudly alongside 19 organizations united in defending women's rights to speak up for their safety. Like so many others, I felt the pain of a retaliatory lawsuit, including the manufactured shame that tries to break us. While the suit against me was defeated, so many don't have the resources to fight back. I'm more resolved than ever to continue to stand for every woman's rights to have a voice in protecting themselves, including their safety, their integrity, their dignity, and their story. There are protections out there. Check out some of the incredible organizations below for resources and information. With love and gratitude for the many who stood by me. Many of you I know, many of you I don't, but I will never stop appreciating or advocating for you. And I love how she includes Elise Dorsey in that. Do y'all know the story with her? Let me see if I can find the, and then I really got to go, but let me see if I can find it. Oh man, I'm not going to be able to find it. But either way, Elise Dorsey, who she thinks in her Instagram story, filed SH claims, was found to be fake. So it was an 11-year affair. And she ended up having to pay the person she accused of SH. So I don't know why they keep running with Elise Dorsey. Okay, yeah, I can't find the reel. Anyway, I'm going to let you guys go rather than me scroll through the internet trying to find it. But it's always so nice to hang out with you. Tay-Tay's new album, Victim Card. Yeah, it'll be interesting. I mean, I'm not even like, I don't listen to Taylor Swift music other than the odd song here and there that I think's really catchy. But I would buy that album, especially if it's like a rock album. I'd be here for it. But yes, so Elise Dorsey did make allegations. It was after her and the guy that she was an 11-year affair with went different ways. And then she filed an SH claim and he fought back and he won. It's wild. It's just a wild story. So she includes her still on the thank you list. But all right, guys, I will let you go here. Thank you again so much for hanging out with me. And with that, unless something crazy pops off today, I won't probably be back today, but I will try to get in here tomorrow with you guys to see what's going on in the case. Yes, please don't forget to like, hit subscribe, hang out with us in future streams. And if you want to check out, if you want to know more about media manipulation and what goes on behind the headlines, I do have a media manipulation playlist with a bunch of stuff where I do investigations into Ari Emanuel, Ryan Reynolds, Blake Lively, all of it. Like, there's a lot there that will keep you going today until we have more breaking news in the case, which I'm sure won't be long. All right, guys, with that, so nice to see you. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.